Hey, what's going on, Capricorns? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. I got something white on my shirt. I'm going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read. It may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. And we are going to be using the Anchormancy Tarot, which a lot of you that are returning have seen this before. It's a really cool deck that I got from a subscriber. She knows my taste because each card is designed by a different tattoo artist, which is really cool, and it makes the deck completely unique. It's a limited edition deck. They may be able to still find some out there. With that all being said, let's get it. Universe, what do we have for Capricorns? What's going on for the Capricorns? Let's get 2 more shuffles for Capricorns. All right, Capricorn. So the first thing I see, I feel like this is someone from your past. I feel like this is someone that you have history already with, because I feel like this is someone that you've been waiting for. I feel like even though there has been some rockiness in the past, I feel like you're still waiting for this person, because I just feel like with this person, you never quite reached, that mountaintop with this person. I feel like you got a quarter of the way up, you got halfway up, and there's still so much more to see. And I feel like even though there has been some difficulties with this person, you're still waiting for them. Because deep down that they're going to be back. I feel like you always knew it. I feel like they always knew it. I feel like this person, I feel like what happened with this person in the past is I feel like there was a point where it was almost like this is the point where the next step begins, and I feel like they weren't quite ready for that. I feel like you were and they weren't, and I feel like they tried to stand their ground. It's not that they weren't ready, they just weren't ready to tell you that they were ready, if that makes sense. Because I do feel like this person didn't want to not be with you. I just felt like they didn't know where it was going. So I feel like they kind of held their ground, they kind of kept you at a distance, and I feel like that kind of pissed you off. And I feel like that's when the trouble began. I feel like they didn't really see what they had in the situation. I feel like there was a little bit of a, there was some issues from their past. Maybe, a past person that they had a hard time. I feel like there was a past person that they maybe gave too much to. And it was almost like they counteracted that by the next not giving enough. I feel like that scared them a little bit, that fear of commitment. And it's not because they're afraid to commit. It's they're afraid of getting hurt if they do commit. Some people act like things don't bother them. And in all honesty, I feel like some of those people are the ones that affects them more. They try to act tough. They try to act strong. They try to act like things don't bother them. This really bothered them. I feel like they had a hard time with this. Now, even though they stood their ground, I feel like the ground below them starting to break away, because this person is not, they're not finding it easy to not be with you. You know, it's almost like they wanted you to cave and give them what they wanted, or how they seen it. It's almost like they wanted to stand their ground, and they figured eventually you would let your guard down and give in to them. But what's funny about this whole read is the fact that they wanted what you wanted. I mean, I feel like you were on the same page before, and I feel like you're still on the same page. It's almost like they just wanted that control. I feel like them getting that control was almost like their way of keeping themselves safe. They weren't doing it to be malicious. They weren't doing it to be anything else, but they wanted to control the depth of this in order to keep themselves from getting hurt. It's all about they didn't want to get hurt. That's 100% of what I see here. They wanted to be with you. It got to a point where it was ready for that next step, and they didn't want to take it because they weren't the ones that thought of it. They weren't the ones that were sending it there. And it was almost like a control thing for them. As long as they can control the situation, they felt like that was the lowest point of where, the lowest percentage of them getting hurt was the fact of them being in control. But now they're starting to realize something much different. They're realizing that what happened hurts them just as much as it hurts you. They're starting to see things for what it is, and they're starting to realize that why the hell would you stick around if they were going to treat you that way? They're realizing their mistake is basically what it boils down to. They're realizing that they should have just gave what they felt like they should have, they should have gave what they knew they should have gave you, instead of trying to hold back and being in some sort of control. They realize they screwed up. They know they screwed up. This person, they have a lot of love for you. But I feel like it's fear that stopped them from making that known. Now, like I said in the beginning, I feel like you always knew this person was coming back, and that's what I see coming towards you. I do see this person coming back. I do see that reconciliation. And I do feel like this person is going to put in the effort, because now with that hangman, they're starting to see what happens if they don't. They're starting to see in a different perspective. A lot of times we see things in a perspective. And sometimes when that doesn't work out, we start to look at things in a different perspective and start realizing what we should have done rather than what we did. Now, like I said, I do see this person coming back. I do see them wanting reconciliation. I do see them wanting to make you an offer. And with this offer is something very genuine. This person is ready to begin that journey that they should have began before. We have the Fool card, the beginning of the tarot. The beginning of a journey. And I feel like you will get what you expected to get in the past from this person. I do see them putting in effort. I do see them doing the work. And I feel like what you knew this could have been before is now about to be realized, because we have that three of Pentacles, that power couple type energy. I do see a lot of forward movement with that Cancer energy, that Chariot card. I do see them finally nurturing the situation, giving to it with everything they have, because they already felt the alternative. They already felt what it's like to not have you. Sometimes when we've been hurt, we hold on to that too long. And I felt like this person held on to it. And I feel like I said, they almost they went from one extreme to the other. They went from giving to a situation to not giving. And I feel like that it was almost like they had to have that control in order to keep themselves from getting hurt. Because I feel like in past relationships, they weren't the one in control. But I feel like they've grown up a bit, and I feel like they're starting to realize, and that's part of the hangman as well, changing your perspective. It's almost like you realize that you're not going to be happy if you're holding back. You're not going to be happy if you're controlling. You're not going to be happy. Like, they're realizing all these things, and they're maturing as they go. And I feel like that's what's really going to take you to the place that you always thought you could go with this person. You know, I do see you getting what you want. You know, we have the family card as well with the 10 of Cups. You know, everybody reacts different to getting hurt. And I feel like this person reacted in a very self-protective way. You know, they were just trying to protect themselves. They weren't trying to hurt you. They weren't trying to push you away. But when push came to shove, they try to stand their ground. And I feel like that's where the problems began. You know, and I feel like in order to save themselves from getting hurt, they then realized that they were only hurting themselves by holding themselves back here. And that's why when they come forward and they do come back, that reconciliation, you know, they are going to put in the work. They're going to put in the effort. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like in the past, I feel like they were still very much holding on to the hurt from a past relationship. And that's even harder to let go of. But I feel like they are coming back and they are ready. You know, they're seeing things in a different perspective. They're realizing that if they want 100%, they got to give 100%. You know, there's no room for control in a relationship. There really isn't. I mean, you may have things that you do control in a relationship, and your partner may have things that they control in a relationship to some extent, but we can't be controlling each other, because that just builds up and then it boils over, and then we have some really deep problems that we got to deal with. Nobody wants to be controlled. You know, people, you know, especially with that power couple that I see coming out of the two of you, you know, it's when you're both in control of your destination, you get there faster. You know, you can work toward it. You can put in the effort, you know, and you get there that much faster. I always use that reference of being in a boat, and one person, you know, a paddle boat, and one person paddling and the other person not. You're just going around in circles. The only way to get to where you want to go is teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's what I have for you. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.